There was a young man named Dami who had a deep passion for music. Every morning, he woke up with songs ringing in his head like birds greeting the dawn. Even while bathing, cooking, or walking to school, melodies flowed naturally from his mouth. Singing made his soul light. When he was just 12 years old, he would sit by his mother's vegetable stall at the roadside, singing softly to himself while arranging onions and peppers. Neighbors passing by would smile and say, "Dami, you will be a great singer one day." Their words felt like sweet honey to his ears. He believed them and dreamt of standing before thousands, holding a microphone, and hearing the world sing along with him. At 16, he joined the choir in his church, believing it would build his talent. He imagined himself leading praise and worship, his voice lifting weary hearts to God. But instead of encouragement, some people in the choir mocked him. "Your voice is too rough," they said with sneers. "Try something else. Music is not for you." Their words pierced his heart like poisoned arrows. At first, he ignored them, but each time he sang and heard their laughter, his confidence cracked a little more. Some nights he cried silently on his pillow, asking God, "Why did you give me this desire if I'm not good at it?" But he refused to give up completely. Every night he prayed, "Lord, let my gift find its place. I know there is something in me." However, at home, Dami faced an even greater battle. His parents did not support his love for music. His father, Mr. Ade, was a strict civil servant who believed education was the only key to success. "Music will not feed you, Dami," his father said sternly one evening as Dami returned from choir practice, sweat dripping down his face. "If you keep wasting your time singing and rapping, you will become a failure." His mother, Mama Dami, added softly but firmly, "Choose wisely. Education or music. We won't pay school fees for someone who refuses to take life seriously." It broke his heart to hear them speak like that. He wanted to make them proud. He wanted to be their son who would one day buy them a big house. But the fire of music burned so deeply within him that he could not let it die. During his final year in secondary school, he would hide in empty classrooms during break time, rapping softly into his cracked phone to record himself. His friends often teased him. "Omo rapper," they called him mockingly. "Go and read your books. Music won't give you WAEC results." Dami laughed with them sometimes, but inside, he felt like a lonely warrior fighting an invisible battle. When he entered college, he met a group of boys who loved music just like him. They sang, rapped, and danced at events. Their harmony attracted students who clapped and danced along. Dami admired them deeply. One day after their rehearsal, he approached them shyly. "Please, can I join you?" he asked, almost whispering. They smiled warmly and said yes, but deep inside, they knew he was not as skilled yet. Still, Dami practiced daily, singing alone in empty classrooms, recording his voice on his cracked phone to check his mistakes. He spent hours writing lyrics in old exercise books, dreaming of one day holding his own album. Soon, his father began to notice his slipping grades. One evening after dinner, his father called him into the parlor. The room was silent except for the ticking of the old wall clock. "Dami," his father began coldly, "I hear you are joining music groups in school. Your results are dropping. If you don't stop this nonsense and focus on your studies, we will stop paying your fees." Dami's heart sank. Tears welled up in his eyes. "Daddy, please, music is my life," he whispered. His father banged the table. "Then choose, Dami. Education or music." That night, Dami cried like a child. He thought of all his dreams, his parents' anger, and his future. In the morning, he packed his few clothes into his old school bag and left home with tears streaming down his cheeks. He whispered to himself, "Lord, I choose my calling." With no school fees paid, he dropped out of college. He moved from friend to friend, sometimes sleeping on cold cement floors, sometimes eating only once a day. There were days he slept under the shed in front of a locked shop. But he never stopped practicing. He rapped under mango trees, by empty classrooms, and on quiet streets at night. Every lyric he wrote carried the pain of rejection, the emptiness of hunger, and the hope of a better day. Sometimes, while sleeping hungry, he would wake up at midnight and pray, "Lord, I know you gave me this gift. Help me to stand strong." He met another group of talented singers who performed in clubs, lodges, and karaoke events. Their voices were like honey melting on hot bread. People cheered whenever they sang. He joined them too, thinking this was his chance, but again he felt like the least among them. When they sang in harmony, he often went off key. The disappointment in their eyes bruised his confidence. He would sit alone under the neem tree behind their rehearsal studio, staring at the sky, wondering if he was chasing a foolish dream. One day, after a tiring rehearsal where he felt humiliated again, he sat alone in his small room. Tears rolled down his cheeks as he whispered, "God, why do I feel this pain? Am I wasting my life chasing something that is not mine?" Feeling restless, he began to rap some of the songs they used to sing, just to ease his frustration. The words flowed from his heart like fire, truthful, raw, and filled with emotions he never shared. As he rapped, he felt alive for the first time in years. His heart pounded with joy. Maybe I am not a singer, but a rapper, he realized. That day changed his life. He decided to focus on rap music. He began to write rap lyrics daily, telling stories about his struggles, pain, faith, and hope. He practiced his lines with courage, recording himself late into the night when others slept. Slowly, people started noticing him at open mic events. They clapped when he rapped. Some shouted, "That's deep." Others called him the truth spitter. His confidence grew like a tree planted by rivers. 1 year later, a big record label was looking for fresh talents to sign. A friend of his group introduced them to the label. The management asked each of them to perform. The first guy sang with a strong, sweet voice. The second sang with deep vocal control. When it got to Dami's turn, his hands shook. He prayed silently, "God, this is my time. Help me." He stepped forward, closed his eyes, and rapped about life, struggles, pain, and hope. His rap was so real, so deep, that the record label manager sat still, their eyes fixed on him. His words carried wounds of rejection, scars of perseverance, and rays of hope. When he finished, there was silence. He feared he had failed, but then a loud clap filled the room. "This is what we are looking for," the manager said with a wide smile. They signed him immediately, giving him a recording deal that changed his life. One of his friends was happy for him, hugging him with tears of joy. But another could not hide his jealousy. "You? Really? A rapper?" he said mockingly. But Dami smiled and said nothing. His heart was too full of gratitude to entertain bitterness. Soon, Dami was performing at big events. He traveled from city to city, sharing his music with the world. People recorded him, posted his rap videos online, and tagged him with praises. The same people who once told him he had no talent now watched him on TV and cheered his name. One evening, after a performance that filled a stadium, his phone rang. It was his mother. Her voice trembled with tears. "Dami, please forgive us. We were wrong. We didn't know God gave you such a gift. We see you on TV. Your father is so proud. Please come home." Tears rolled down his cheeks as he listened. He remembered the nights he cried alone, the hunger, the pain of rejection. But his heart was full of peace. "Mama, I forgive you and Daddy. I love you both," he whispered. That weekend, he visited home for the first time in years. His father hugged him tightly, unable to hide his tears. "I'm sorry, son. You proved me wrong. You are a star." That night, Dami sat in his childhood room, holding his first music award to his chest. He looked up at the ceiling with tears of gratitude. "Thank you, Lord. You never left me," he whispered. That day, Dami learned the deepest lesson of his life. Not everyone will see your gift. Even your family might doubt you. But don't let their blindness stop you. Find where you truly belong. Discover yourself. Sharpen your gift with faith and courage. Your light will always find its place in the world. He found his voice. And through his voice, many others found theirs.